Welcome back to another episode of Torque. So you may have seen the previous video. We started disassembly of the 1965 Mustang convertible. We're going to continue the disassembly and try and see as far as we can get. So let's head out to the barn and get to work. All right, let's go ahead and work on this trunk area. We got our kick panels back here. They look like they could, like they were worn pretty good. May have to replace those. Of course, we've got stuff from probably the 70s. How do you like that Armor All bottle? That probably was from the 70s. Got a container of cologne or perfume. It's my sister-in-law that drove it around, so it probably is perfume. Look at that, a 50-cent piece from Druthers. I'll have to give this back to my sister-in-law. She may want this. All right, this is the telltale. Let's pull out this carpet and we'll see how bad the truck floor is. All right, I am amazed. This appears to be in really, really good condition. It really only has surface rust on a few areas, but most of it's on top of the tank. This is pretty good. I'm impressed. That carpet, who knows, may have saved the day. All right, so for this convertible top, it looks like, and I haven't gotten into the manual, I ordered some manuals yet. All these screws come out, these snaps have a little Phillips head screw in it. So we're gonna pull all those out. You've got the hydraulic lines that go to the actuator on both sides of them, and then you have like 3 bolts on each side, and we're going to see if that loosens it up and we can get this thing out. There's always one. All right, off the trim piece comes. Okay, so inside the convertible you have this trim strip that mounts on the back side, and that actually holds the front part of the convertible top onto this frame section. There's a bunch of these little tiny screws. These things are tiny to get out. Of course, they come in from the back side. They're extremely hard to get. Make sure you don't strip any of these out. All right, it appears we have 3 more Phillips head screws on both sides, and that's gonna disassemble the side and remove it. We'll have to figure out what goes underneath where the back glass is. There's something retaining it and keeping it in place. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, I found some more screws, and they are down at the bottom of the well. There's several screws here. There's probably about 5 or 6. So we'll go ahead and pull those off as well. All right, so we find out what's holding that back piece. So once you pull out those well screws down at the very bottom, you pull back out, and look, there's actually a bar underneath there. I don't know if you can see that. There's a bar underneath that actually has bolts. Let's see if I can't get you a better view. There it is. So there's a bar there, it has bolts. Have to pull out all those bolts, and then I believe it's just the 6 bolts on the side. And I think we can pull this out. All right, we're gonna go ahead and take out the bolts that go around in this frame piece that holds the back side of the convertible top on. You can see over on this right side, there's actually a bolt missing. They never installed that bolt. So we're gonna go ahead and pull that out. That will loosen up the whole back side. And then we have the 6 bolts, 3 on each side, that are on the front side of the mechanism itself. We should be able to pull these out, and this whole piece, this whole convertible top should come off. Let's go ahead and start pulling some bolts. And I think we are completely free. I don't think there's anything else attaching. this whole back section. So I think it's going to come off with the rest of the. We're going to go ahead and compress this this whole convertible top. Then we'll take out those 6 bolts. I'm going to go ahead and remove these bolts. The upper bolt, I think it's going to stay in place, so we'll just have to lift it up and over. I'm going to go ahead and crank down these windows, both of these windows, to get those out of the way, make sure that they don't get broken when we pull this out. All right, I'm going to try and attempt to take this out by myself. We'll see if we can't lift it up. I've got a blanket on the back. Maybe we can set part of it on there and kind of scoot it off. There we go. All right, we're going to get this moved out of the way. I'm going to pull out the power top motor, and then we'll pull off the trunk, I think the rear bumper, maybe the lights, and then we'll start on the windows. All right, make sure you have these clips in place. I just noticed this on this one, is that there's a clip here holding the lines here. The clip on the other side is missing. You can see where the lines were actually running, so someone removed that and never put it back. So we're going to go ahead and remove this pump. I think 2 of the mounts are not attached. We're going to find out here in a minute. It appears that a ground is right here. That's the ground. That's one thing that I do not like doing, is I hate using a body ground. If it's my choice, I'll go ahead and run a ground block like I did in the Chevelle to the back that goes all the way up to the battery, and you know you've got a really good ground. Yep. You see there's mounts on the back side. They were just sitting in there. Oh, it's just rubber. It's a rubber isolator that just sits there. Okay, so they're really good. We're going to go ahead and take off these lines now that we can get to both sides. 1/2-inch wrench. Hopefully it doesn't make a mess. I think most of it had bled out, but we'll see. There we go. We'll pull out these lines. I'm going to bag and tag everything, and then we'll just keep moving forward. All right, so we got the trunk off. Here's something that is kind of cool. I'll give it to Ford on this one. So there's 2 bolts for the hinges, you know, these torsion hinges. 2 bolts that hold on each side, and you can actually adjust it up and down. So you can actually adjust where it fares up here on this lower back glass section to make it level. So that's pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and take this apart, take these off, and then maybe I'll go ahead and start on the lights, bumpers, try and get some of this stuff off. Once I get everything off, then it's going to go back up on the lift, and then we'll start disconnecting everything down below. All right, we're about to pull off this bumper, and it appears that we just have 4 bolts, 2 on each side, so we're going to go ahead and work and get this thing off. All right, we're going to go ahead and take off this lower valance, but I thought you'd get a kick out of looking at this. So down below, you have a Phillips, and then you got a hex. You've got another Phillips, and then you got a straight slided, and then you got a Phillips. Yeah, this thing is like all over the place. I pulled on some of the wires just barely. They broke right off. I don't even know if that's automotive wiring. It almost looks like speaker wire. So I'm going to pull off this entire valance, then we'll be able to get to the back side. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing off.
Well, damn it! God almighty! Oh, it's all bent up at the other end.
Oh my gosh, this thing's wavy as anything.
Oh yeah, it's way bent. Look at that right there, where your hand
Yeah,
is.
it's bent on both sides. I'm thinking we're due for a new panel on this one. All right, we're about to take off the hood. I've got my resident Mustang expert here, Aaron Fleehardy.
Hello.
Aaron's got how many Mustangs?
4.
4 Mustangs.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go ahead and pull this hood off real quick. All right, we're gonna start taking off the headlight buckets.
We're finding out that this car is repainted red sometime in its life. The original color was Venetian yellow. And I think the owners are gonna say it was what, red maybe?
Yeah, they're gonna say it's red.
Yeah. Okay, we're getting ready to pull off this driver's side fender. We have all the bolts removed from here and all the anchors. I got a couple bolts coming through here that we took off. And then you have a bolt down by the kick panel. Goes in that way, that comes out. One going that way, and then one down here that has a nut plate down below. So this should just come right off now. See what lays underneath it. This is in good shape. So there you see the original Venetian yellow underneath. The cowl seems to be in really good shape. This isn't all rotted out, which is nice. The rocker, outer rocker is in good shape. So, yeah. This car we're thinking about getting it acid dipped, so it will remove all the seam seal, undercoating, rust. It'll expose everything. So far this car is a pretty good candidate. So.
All right, I think that's about it for this week. I threw a lot of stuff out there. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. My next video will of course have some of the bracing on the inside of the convertible, and also pulling the engine and transmission, getting some of the exhaust out. We're gonna get it stripped down to nothing on the next video. I really want to thank Aaron Fleehardy for coming out and helping remove a lot of these components, especially the fenders. He's a wealth of knowledge. I'm just glad to have him out here. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something, and I hope to see you on another episode of Torqued.